Okay, we're going to set up the software portion. So this part of the video is going to talk about how to set up the virtual 8 gigabyte image for Raspberry Pi 3B Plus. I believe this is only made for 3B Plus, not for 3B. Okay, Raspberry Pi 3B Plus. So go ahead and put that in. Press any button. Okay, then I'm going to use the joystick, go up, down, left, right, and then start button on my right hand, left select, and then A button, B button, and then X, Y, and then L1, R1, L2, R2, which is a trigger button. And then you're just going to hold any button, press it, let go, press it, let go, and the screen will go to a different one and then when you get to the last one, make sure you use the select button, okay? Because that's how you get out of the game. So you're gonna press the select over here, you're gonna click OK. All right. So once that's done, the only thing you're gonna see is this two things. Now you might say, why is your emulator right side up? So the total game for this virtual game is actually 868 game on this. Okay, it comes with only arcade game, nothing else, and they're all vertical screen, which is cool. What I did is in the config.txt, I used a notepad++, and I added at the very bottom, I added a line called display underscore rotate equal 3. Okay, and that's how it becomes 3, mean that you want the emulator be vertically correctly in the right direction. Okay, for track mode, you only want to put 2. So I just roughly wrote it down. I put display underscore rotate equal 3, and that is for emulator. For track mode, you want to change that to 2 for track mode. For the emulator, you put 3. Okay, so with this 32 gig, I'm going to go ahead and just do the okay, first we're going to do is okay, just let you see what it looks like when you go in. It doesn't have any pictures. It only works inside the track mode. So the way they set it up, it doesn't have any picture. So what I need to do, I need to run the scripper where it will go out to the internet to get all the picture for me. Because I rather play, I'm thinking about trying to play this on an emulator so I can add more game. But if I go to track mode, it doesn't give me, the problem with this image, the track mode does not give me any of this utility, Raspberry Pi utility option. So you cannot go and say, okay, I want to go back to Emulationstation. This is called Emulationstation. And it won't go back to this because it doesn't give you an option to, like here, it gives you an option to say, I want to go to track mode, and you know, this is 2 options. Go to track mode, and then go to track mode as quiet, meaning that no sound, which is kind of, I don't know, I never tried that one, because once you go into it, you can't come back out to the emulation station. You have to manually type it. Type emulation station, you know, with or underscore, and so once you go in, you can go back to this. So that's one thing bad about it. See, this one lets you go back to Emulationstation, but all this option is not in the track mode. It doesn't give you the option to do that. Okay, which is sad. All right, so you would type in this word Emulationstation without the space, and it will take you back to this, you know, just temporary if you forgot to do some kind of setup. What we're gonna do is go ahead and let me show you before I do anything, I want to show you what the game look like. I think this game is going to be upside down. Now I have to. Well, let me try it. Let me try one of the games just to demonstrate what it looked like before you do anything to it. So if you straight from the image, straight from the, you could say straight from the box, you don't do anything other than just burn the image and change the display rotation to 3. This is what happened. So you have to change it to display equal 2. Then the game would be right side up. So right now it is showing this way. Because what is weird is the emulation and the track mode. Track mode is set up to, inside the program, tell it to play it vertically. Okay, so if you use an emulator, this is what will happen. So I guess there's no reason to add more game to it, because the emulator and the track mode, they don't work side by side with it. So your game is always gonna be like that. Unless you do your own setup and don't use the setup that they have. Because apparently it's not gonna work. Game is gonna always be like that. Alright, let's get out of the game. Alright, never mind about that idea, forget about it. I'm just gonna use the track mode. Now before you do the track mode, you need to set up a lot of stuff here. You're gonna upgrade to the latest version. You want to download, you don't have to download anything, but you want to set up the network so you could you know, so you go to Wi-Fi, the very last one at the bottom, Wi-Fi. And you want to set up you want to make sure your keyboard is plugged in, okay? Make sure the keyboard is plugged in so you could set up the login. So you say connect to the Wi-Fi network. All right, you want to press enter. And then you choose I have a network, I call it Johnny. And then I just type in my password. Once you type the password, press enter on your keyboard, and then it will give you an IP address. And that's the IP address you want to write down so that you could use it on your computer. So you could transfer file or transfer file out, copy file out using the winscp.exe. So it's called winscp. So you could download. You could download directly from the Pi. So you use a program called winscp, or you could just type it directly from a computer using the browser and just type in. You could type in like this / retro-pi, and it will automatically give you. You could type in like this on your file browser / retro-pi, and then, or you could just type in the IP address, either way. But it will work with like this. And once you type it in, you will see the folder. You want to go to the Raspberry Pi, the ROM. You could transfer the ROM out. So that's one way to do it. And or you could use a program called WinExe. Now when you type this, it's going to ask for a username and password. So you're going to type in the username. You want to type in PI, but you want to type in lowercase, okay? PI. And then you want the password would be lowercase RASPBERRY. Okay, so you want to type in Pi for username, and your password would be Raspberry. Okay, not Pi, just Raspberry. And then once you enter it, then you could transfer your file. All right, so I got the Wi-Fi set up. I'm gonna go and exit out here. Now, if you want to utilize the disk space on the system, Okay. All right, now we're going to talk about how we're going to first we set up the password to log in. So then we have a Wi-Fi setup. Now I want to demonstrate. I went and put in the 8 gig inside. I wanted to demonstrate what it looked like before you do anything else. So only thing we did was to log in and set up the joystick and set up the password. Now we want to see what it looked like before. Now what I did on this one is I rotated the display underscore rotate equal 2. Equal 2 is for track the track mode. The equal 3 is for emulator. So right now the emulator is not in the correct direction, but once you started the track mode, it will work. It will be in the right direction. But I want to show you there's a problem with the 8 gigabyte image. You have to do some setup on RetroArt in order for it to display correctly on the full screen. So for the 8 inches diagonally, 8 inches screen, this image is not going to be perfect. So here are some of the tips, some steps, and I'm going to show you step by step how to make it work. But let me go ahead and demonstrate it so you know exactly what I'm talking about. See, right now, as you can see, this whole thing, see, is in a full screen. See that how I want you to remember it's the brightness is over down touching very close to this. Okay, later you're gonna see that it's not covering, it's going to be further away from it. So let me demonstrate the video game. Maybe I could just do it from here without changing to track mode. I already installed a PC engine in here for the pinball, so that's why you are seeing this. Okay, so I got the B set up on this side. All right, let's just run a quick one from not switching to track mode, because once you switch to a track mode, you can't go back. You stay in the track mode because the system doesn't have an option for you to switch it back. You have to go press F4 and then run Emulationstation to get to the Emulationstation. All right, so let's go ahead and run this one directly from emulator. And I'm gonna go ahead and move and change it to a track mode too, so you guys can see what it looked like if you don't do nothing other than just set it up. See, you see the screen, how far away from it? This is it's supposed to be 8 inches from all the way down here, and it's missing that gap. See that? So this image is not made for CounterCade, Arcade1Up, DigDug, or whatever arcade you bought, like a Mrs. Pac-Man, or this one, or Galaga. They're all gonna be vertical screen. So, and I think also Mrs. Pac-Man too. See, now this is showing a full screen, but once the game started, it's going to go down. See where my finger is now? It's right now showing up to here. But once the game started, see how much is lose this much image. Same thing with DigDug. Okay, so let me go ahead and switch it to track mode. You might say, okay, Johnny, you just showing me the emulation mode. Okay, well, all right, let's just go to track mode. Since I make 2 images copy, one is I have a 32 gig here. I'm going to show you how to utilize the full space using the 32 gig. So we're going to do that one. This one just for demo only. So I'm going to go to I got the PC engine working on emulator, but the problem is you have to look at it upside sideways. But the game does play the game does display it correctly in the right direction, and but when you go to track mode, it doesn't give you option to add more emulator into the track mode, because the track mode is fixed. so you can't really change a whole lot. But if you want it from emulator and change this to a vertical theme, then your screen will not look upside down. And then you could, I got this one set. Oop, press the one button. And it should display the same direction. No, it's not. Yeah, it's going to display sideways. So it doesn't work. So this version is pretty much you get stuck with what you as you can see, it's still not full screen, even though it's sideways. You see that big gap right there? Okay, see that big gap? Not using a full screen. All right, let me go to track mode real quick. So by adding more game, the problem with it is not go hand to hand with Alright, so I'm gonna go and select the first one on top, the track mode, okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and start it with track mode. And I want to show you that if you don't do anything fixed with it, you're going to be disappointed with the image you download, because I was very disappointed. I'm like, how come Ralph did not go over this? He told me to buy a video card, get the 8 GB and image, which I did from Arcade Punk. And now I'm playing the DigDug and all the game where the screen is already bad enough. It's already 8 inches. Now I'm playing like a 7-inch screen. So I'm like, oh great, and I wasn't very happy. Now I think it's okay. Now it shows it's a full screen. Okay, you can see it shows in the full screen on the first page. But when you start the game, it's a different story. So let me go DigDug real quick. Show you the difference. Okay, it doesn't make sense for me to show you something that you didn't see before, which is this arcade is DigDug. So it makes sense to just show you the same game so you can see the difference. And this one is pretty nice. They have, you know, track mode look and everything. Got video demo. You know, it's beautiful. It's nice. But here's the problem I'm having with this image. Okay, it's the Arcade1, as you can see. See that? It's not using the full screen. And so I'm kind of upset. I'm like, oh great, now DigDug is in a small screen. So we are going to fix that. And so let's go ahead and do that and get that fixed. But first, I want to go ahead and go through some of the steps. We're going to utilize the SD card. Okay, so I'm going to switch this back to emulator, but since I already moved it to track mode, if you turn this machine off and on, it's going to go directly track mode. So for example, it doesn't, you have to use a keyboard to press escape. It doesn't even have escape setup. So I'm going to say yes. I'm going to type in sudo reboot. And I don't think you guys want to look at my instruction upside down. So we're going to change it back to the 32 gig SD card, and then with the display underscore rotation equal 3. Equal 3 is for the emulator for it to face correct direction. equal 3 is for the track mode. So this is set up to equal 3, and it automatically goes to track mode. There's no way to go into anything else. I don't see any RetroPie or anything in here, unless I'm mistaken. Oh, just press, which is kind of cool. You get to play Galaga and all the game in one system, but it's not full screen. That's the problem I'm having. Let's go ahead and start this. Oh, you press B, you could get out. So you could get out, press B. You press B, you will get out. But here's the problem I'm having is, see, it's not using a full screen. So when you're playing the game, you only could move up to here. You can't go any further. You lost inch there, an inch there. So that's pretty bad. But everything else from top to bottom is okay. You can see the name, everything is not cut off. But the size is all cut off. So we're gonna make that to a full screen. So you could have, we're gonna set that up. All right, let's go turn this off real quick. Let's escape from here. Press select and start same time. Press B, say yes. And there's no shutdown, so I'm gonna do, I don't know, there's such a thing as shutdown. Oh well. I'm just gonna power it off. Oop. Okay, it's off. Take the SD card out. Put in the regular 32 gig, which is display underscore rotate equals 3, and this is for the config.txt. You want to edit the file using the PC and add this at the very bottom of the line, and this will give you the emulator where you will face correct direction. So you want to do all this setup before you change it to a track mode, because once you change the track mode, you stay on track mode and you can't go back other than stay in the track mode, which is fine. You have 836, I think, 838 game. Alright, so right now I burn the 8 gig SD card into what you call that, a 32 gig image. So I want to utilize all 32 gig. Okay, right now it's not, it's only using 8 gig. So if you're using 8 gig, you have enough space to, not a whole lot, just enough to play it. Okay, so now everything is right side up. This is how I want it. So I could do the setup right here. So I have also installed a lot of game on this SD card. So you have 4 pinball game, 4 Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, and all of them are pinball game, but they don't have image. Okay, 11 pinball making and 11. So I have a full set of all the pinball that I could find for all the different console. Seems like Nintendo 64 only have 2 pinball game, and so on. But anyway, the purpose I'm here is to go ahead and set up the Raspberry Pi. First I want to go ahead and do the SD card. So I'm going to press F4 for my keyboard. Go to the command prompt. Alright. From here I'm going to type in, this is resizing SD card, so to utilize the free space. So we're going to type the df minus bm, and this is to see what exactly, that's the most I could zoom in. Can y'all see all that? That's to see what kind of space I have. I got 79% that I'm not using. Okay, I got,
using blah blah blah, and I'm not using like all the space. Available space only 147, 1477 megabyte. If I could see that, yeah, 1477 megabyte available. Okay, so only utilize 79%. So I want to see if I could increase that because I have 32 gig. Right now it's only showing up here that I have a 7.2 gigabyte and use 5.5 and only have available 1.56, use 79%. So this image I still have space to add game to it, which I did. Okay, but I want to utilize the whole 32. Why not? Okay, but this is a step that for those people who want to burn an image from a 128 to a 256 gigabyte. How do you use the whole space of the 256 gigabyte? Because the image only now you cannot use a mini tool wizard because it doesn't support the partition how the Raspberry Pi Linux is partitioned. So we're gonna have to run this command right here. I'm gonna type sudo sudo raspi raspi-config CONFIG. Okay, once you're here, we are going to select number 7. Okay, advanced option, configure the advanced setting. All right, we're going to do that. Press enter. Then we're going to select number 1, expand the file system. Okay, ensure that all of the SD card storage. Okay, now reboot. The partition has been resized. The file will be enlarged upon the next reboot. So we're gonna have to exit out here, and we are going to reboot. Okay, he asked me, do you want to reboot? And I say yes. Alright. Raspberry Pi take a bit longer to reboot. I mean, this is a Raspberry Pi 3B Plus. I don't know if I mentioned that, but go ahead and tell you again. It's a Raspberry Pi 3B Plus. Okay, we're gonna press F4 again and see how much space do we have. We're gonna type in what's the command again? df. I just press F4 to get out here. Okay, just FYI if you don't see. So you type df lowercase space minus uppercase b and lowercase m as in Mary. Press enter. All right. So now as you can see, I have 22,182 megabyte available, and I only use up only 21%. See that? So that's like a 22 gigabyte that I'm not using. So I'm only using 5.5 gigabyte, and I have 22 gigabyte available. So I have utilized all the space on the SD card. So when you burn it 8 gigabyte, you only going to get 8 gigabyte storage available to use unless you do this command to increase it. If you don't increase it, you don't have that much space to do anything else with it. Okay, so just FYI. All right, now is the good part is to fix everything else. So let's go ahead. Let's type in emulator, EMULATION, Emulationstation, STATION. That will bring you back to the emulator station. Okay. So that's the first part that we just covered, how to increase the SD card. Now we are going to talk about how to upgrade this from a 4.4 to a 4.5. Okay, so we are going to go to the retro pi, and then we are going to go to we're going to go to Raspberry and setup script. So Raspberry retro pi setup. Okay, so let's see, that's the most I could zoom in. Alright, so first we're going to do is to upgrade the Raspberry Pi setup script, which is this one right here. Okay, we're going to upgrade the script. Click A button to OK. Say, are you sure you wanted to upgrade Raspberry Pi setup script? Yes. So you want to do that. All right. So now it's running the upgrade script. It doesn't take long, it's finished. All right. So this next one we are going to do is to select the manager package. And I'll put all this on the description, the step-by-step. So manage the package. So we're going to manage the package right there. Press enter. I mean the A button. And then we are going to select the manage the core package, which is the first option. Then we're going to install and upgrade all core package from binary, which is the first one as well. Okay, press enter. And we're going to select yes. Now this might take a minute or two, maybe less than 2 minutes, maybe about a minute or so. And what that does is installing and upgrade the core package from the binary. So it's going to take you to 4.5.4. So when you upgrade the script, you are going to right now your retro pi is on 4.5.4 now. Okay. It was 4.4. Now it's 4.5.4 version. So it's updating everything for you. Alright, so about a minute, less than a minute, so it's done. Okay, so you want to do those two update. Now we're gonna press we're gonna select back. I'm gonna select back again. Now we're gonna configure the tool. Okay, so we're gonna go to the tool, which is the one below it, configure/tool. We are going to upgrade the splash screen. Okay, the splash screen that you do the video and all that stuff. So you want to do that whenever you have a video that show on the image. You want to do the configure tool, and you want to go all the way down to 837. This might change depending on the version. Right now we're in the 4.5. 5.4. So it'll be 337. So we're gonna keep on go right there. 837. Okay, that's the number. 837 splash screen configuration. So it's configuring the splash screen. Press A button. Okay. Then after that, we're gonna select number 3, which we're going to enable. Enable splash screen random. Right now it's disabled. We're gonna go ahead and enable it. We're gonna choose the one below it, which is random on splash screen from home Pi Raspberry splash screen. Raspberry Pi splash screen folder. That's where it's going to get the video from. So your video, like a video that you saw that the car racing, that's where you're gonna get that from. Okay. Then after you choose that, then we're gonna just see, choose. We did the random. I'm looking at my note because skip go image. No. Choose the splash screen. Alright, it just say press A. Okay, I'm in the right place. And that's the splash screen that we see from when you first start up. So I'm just gonna cancel that. No need to. Alright, so we already enabled the, see right here, we already enabled the random splash screen from your own custom splash screen. So we're just gonna cancel it out right now. Okay, so we are done right here on this one. So we did an upgrade. The Raspberry Pi now is in the latest version. Okay, it's in 4.5.4 now, and today is the December 20, I believe, and this is the time for watching Netflix. The Witcher by the guy who plays Superman, Henry something. He have his new movie coming out today. We're gonna go watch that. Okay. All right, so we did everything we need to do on set up the Raspberry Pi. Okay. Now we are going to set up the screen, so the screen will be a full screen. Okay, so we are going to go to retro. Okay, let me make sure I don't miss any step. So I did the second is to upgrade. Oh, third one, if you having problem logging into the IP address, you have to do some setup. So I'll put that in a separate video because not everybody's gonna have that problem. And then also, if you want to install like a virtual image, see right now, if you want to set up a different virtual image, you could go ahead and do that by pressing the going to the EM theme. And the two that work well with this vertical screen is you could download all the gallery, okay, and then you could update the theme. I recommend do both, okay, but I don't want to take too much time from this video. I'm gonna go look for the one is the one called the virtual theme called 108 and 148. So 108 and 148, which is an easier way to do this. Yeah, if you download all the theme, easier for you to pick. You could install it later on. since you already have a 22 gig of free space. So okay, 108 right here. You want to install the virtual arcade. Okay, that's the virtual arcade screen. Go ahead and install that. And the next one you want to install is the virtual limited theme. That one is actually the best one, 148. That one actually looks very nice. So you go to 148. So those are the two that right now support vertical screen. So if you want to do your own image without using this 8 GB, you could use this two theme that support it. Okay, so I'm going to install it and I'm going to show you what it looks like later. You could choose those two. So those are only two that actually, and I'll also put that in the description. All right, that's it with the theme. Now we're going to fix the screen. Okay, we're going to go to the retro alt. This is a very important subject. Okay, I haven't typed this into the description yet, but I'm going to go ahead and add this on the description. So you want to go to retro alt. Remember I was showing this, the video that it wasn't covering the full screen? Well, this will fix it. Okay, all right, so you're going to go to the setting. You're going to go to the video. Okay, I also turned this one to on. Alright, the full screen mode, I put it on. I didn't touch a virtual refresh rate, I left it alone. Now this is a part that you want it to be 4:3. Okay, so you're going to change this to 4:3. See that the screen is covering the full screen. It's showing you, if you use 1:1, that's what it looks like on the game. 2:1, you want to pick the ones that's almost there, but it's not quite. The one I recommend is 4:3. 4:3 is perfect. You don't want to use a core provider because not all the game is a full screen. Even though you think it's a full screen vertically, but it's not. So you want to do 4.3. Okay. Huh. Well, now it's not showing a full screen. I think it's because the screen is not tilted correctly. So I'm changing from a 16:9 to a 4:3. All right. Because once it's tilted correct direction, it should be okay. So do 4.3, and then we are going to say we're going to set it up so when you exit out the game, it will save. Okay, so we're going to press right now. After all the setup, if you exit out, it's not going to save it. So we're going to press B to get out, and we're going to go to configuration. You want to change that. Right now it says save configuration on exit is turned off. So when you exit out the game, you want it to be safe. Okay, let me show you that. You want to turn it on. So all those changes you did, it will save when you get out. And then in saving here, you want to turn this one to save automatic index. I want to turn it on. Oh, you could set it for a second, like how many seconds it will automatically save while you're playing the game. I'll go ahead and turn it to no, I think that one auto save. No, that auto save here. Turn on. Turn this one on. Don't override the SD. Turn that one on. So it's the index on, and off. Auto save, auto load. Let me turn that one on. So on. Auto save stage on index on. Auto RAM save. You could play with this, see which one is better for you. But this is like how many seconds it automatically save the game for you. Let's put down every 10 seconds save the game while I'm playing. don't override the save RAM. Let me leave this one off. Alright, I just have this one on, because I don't have a button to load the game that I saved, and it's not set up correctly, so I need to look into that. Because if you could set it up where you press a button to automatically load the where you save, then you could turn this one off. But I want to turn it on because I want to play the game and then later come back and play where I left off the game. You know, pick up where I left off. So I want to turn that one on. So press B to get out, and then now press B again. Now go to configuration file. I want to go ahead and save the current setting, what I just changed. I want to go. I manually told it to go ahead and save it. Okay, and I also want to say save the new configuration. I don't know which is which, but I think this is just official. Just do it that way. Okay, that's it. Get out, then you quit, and everything should be safe. So let's go back in again, make sure everything is safe. It's 4x3. Let's make sure. All right. So go to setting. Go to video. Let's see. Yeah, I saved to 4x3. Okay, so I'm good. That's pretty much it. So now let's demonstrate the game and see what it looked like if you play the arcade game. Oop. Now I don't know if the arcade game need to be flipped to play it correctly, because I don't think this is going to demo correctly. Let's try anyway. I think it's gonna be, I have to run it in arcade track mode. Yes, it's not in the correct direction, so I have to flip it the other direction. But before I do that, let's go ahead and let me show you the theme that I just added so you can see what it looks like. So you go to UI setting, and you go to, originally it comes with a carbon setting for this one. So I want to use a vertical limited arcade theme, and then yep, then just back. Okay, and then just press start button again. There you go. I like this one. This one is very nice, very pretty. And then you could run the what you call the, you could run it so you could, when you pick a picture, it will show a picture. Right now it's not showing any picture because it's not it doesn't have, for some reason it shows pictures and video on the track mode, but it doesn't show on emulation, so it's a separate setup. So you will have to run this command right here, scrape, and then you want to do now, but you want to turn this off. If you don't turn it off, it's going to keep on asking you every time it's running the program. So you want to turn it off. Okay. All right. Let me go ahead and start the track mode. Since I'm going to leave this in track mode anyway, because those other game won't work. But well, let me demonstrate some of the game here. I think the game here will show in the full screen now. Okay, let's do Time Crisis. No, it's still showing sideways. Yeah, it's still showing sideways. Alright, let's go to track mode. Let me see, the track mode, I will have to change this to number 3. So I go to PC and change this to number 3. So that way, when I run track mode, it'll be the right direction. So let me go ahead and do a shutdown. Okay, so I went and changed the display rotation equal to. Equal to is for track mode. So you need to edit the config.txt. But the problem now is that the emulator, it will not be right side up, it's sideways. But all the game will play the correct way. Now the problem is the game will play correctly, but the problem is the emulator is in the wrong direction. But if you change the direction correctly in the emulator, the game will not play correctly, which is kind of weird. Okay, so let me demonstrate this real quick before I change to a track mode. So let's go ahead and try this one. See, it's right side up. And it is going to be a full screen. So if you zoom back out, it's a full screen of the game. So you can play all the pinball game in the correct direction, but the problem is the screen is not in the vertical direction, it's sideways. But then you could play the game. Now but the problem is if you add more game to it, the track mode won't see it. The only way we'll see it if you play it from here. See, it's a full screen. It's real nice. So I added up all the pinball into this vertical screen, which is beautiful. But the problem is I won't be able to play it because of track mode. So, but anyway, so let's forget about this and let's go back to the correct way. So let me exit out here. And let's go to the track mode. Now, if you play the arcade, it also is going to be correct. Here's all the arcade that came with the system. I forgot the left and right. Okay, I go down because I can't read. I got it in. Okay, I'm going to try the same game again. This one. See, all the game will play correctly, but the problem is the emulator on first screen is not. So if you could live it, if you want to do it like that, you could do it like that. Okay, see, it is a full screen. It's covering the full screen, so we fix it. So using the 4.3 is a white ratio, so it gives you the full screen. Nothing's cut off. Everything's good, and the gameplay good. You know, let me start a game real quick. We turn the sound up. Ah. Alright, kill it. Mission 2. Mission completed. Alright, so let's exit out, and I got it set up where when you exit out the game, and you come back to the game, it's going to pick up where you left off. That's what I did. The way I show you how to do that, turn it on, auto load. So I set it to auto load. So when you left the game, you come back, it's going to pick up where you left off. So that's where we left off, because we passed mission 1, remember? Now we're going to mission, second mission. Let me exit out in the middle of the game so you can see, because when I exit out in where the title is, it's kind of confusing. Now I exit out from the middle of the game, you're gonna see. I'm gonna get killed because see. Okay, see that? He came back where I was. A while ago, I left the screen where I just finished the level, so you cannot really tell the difference. But here you go. Okay, so I could get out of the game right now. And when you go back to it, it will be the same spot. Okay? Alright, so everything played good. All the game will play good. But the problem is you have to look at it sideways. Alright? So if you don't want to, you want to go to Arcade. Let's go ahead and demonstrate Arcade. Okay, so now we're in the track mode. And I'll go ahead and demonstrate the full screen over here. Oop. Okay. There you go, it's full screen. And this game is actually is in PC Engine, but they also have an arcade version of this, so it's cool. Let's go ahead and press select. And select again, credit, star, single player, single ship. So you can see it's a full screen now. Alright, let's go to the next game. Caligan. So it's 830, I think 38 game. So you can tell it's all full screen now. So if you're not able to get a full screen, you need to watch the whole video from the beginning, which actually you probably already did. Oh, it pick up where I left off, so I need to select the game. Ah. Okay. Let's go to one of my favorite games. Ah! Okay. And let's go to the heavy barrel. How did this game work? This one uses a special key button. Let's see if this works. This one is the one that having problem with. How do I go backward? I don't think the key joystick set up. Yeah, the button it's not set up right. This game is not set up right, so you're not able to turn around and go backward. Oh, here you go. So how I did that while ago? How did I turn around? Nope. I had to try to figure out how to reset that one. It's not working correctly. The way it's set up by default. Alright, let's go the M. Oh, what's that? Karate kick. This mapping. I'm not good at that game, so I'm not gonna play that one. There you go. Come on, start the game. Alright, kill it. It's the way to play it. Full screen. Alright, let's get out again. Alright, that's pretty much it. Let's try the spinball game. Let's go to T. Ooh, Mr. Pac-Man. For those of you who want to play Pac-Man, there you go. Pac-Man Plus. Where's Mrs. Pac-Man? Uh-oh. Ah, go up, go up, go up! Ah, I'm dead. Stupid joystick! Really? This joystick's lousy. Game over. Alright. Alright, thank you for watching. Hope this helped. If you have any questions, let me know. Alright, talk to you later.